question.
Okay, so unboxing the Nike Metcon Free 5.
Free Metcon 5.
Free Metcon 5.
Free
Sorry.
Metcon
So
5.
this is my first pair actually.
Of free Metcon.
I've had my fair share, before we take it out, I've had my fair share of Metcons. I guess I had the 2, the 4, and the 8. So, you know, not as much as Tito Jerdy, but definitely quite a few. Okay, so first impressions, it's definitely different from the usual Metcon that I have. First thing, it's so soft as compared to, I mean, it's not the softest thing as say as a casual shoe. What would you say? As compared to like a Metcon 8, it's really soft. Okay, just to get a quick look at the shoe right there.
This is a really nice,
Solid colorway,
clean looking colorway. Super clean
First
looking
off,
colorway.
yeah.
Like wow.
Solid colorway.
Like I'm a fan of the colorway
Off the bat,
right away off the bat. I mean, if you've been watching us for a fair amount of time, you'd know that the Nike Free Metcon is my personal favorite in the Nike Metcon line. So I can't be a bigger fan of this shoe already as it is.
So currently with this shoe, this is is this the second or third line that they came out for the Metcon?
It's the second.
And then the third one was the Turbo.
The Turbo, which used to be called the Zoom Metcon.
So there's 3 now, right?
Yeah.
So
the main one,
the
Nike Metcon, which is now on its 8th, upcoming 9th iteration.
Who would you say that main line is for?
CrossFitter. That's for your the main. Okay, here's the thing. If you were watching this and you're not familiar, you're gonna say, it's for fitness in general.
It's all the same.
No, here's the thing. The word Metcon comes from CrossFit. They created the Nike Metcon shoe initially because Reebok beat Nike to it. Reebok beat Nike at the race. Reebok got the share of CrossFitters. And then here comes Nike circa 2015.
You know, they can use the CrossFit name.
15. Yeah, they can. And then they're like, 2015, they're like, oh wow, there's the Reebok CrossFit Games. And apparently, there's this little cult of people who are actually into doing CrossFit.
Who buys one shoe and like 8 colors.
Oh, sorry, that's me. That's me. And then they even rehashed the whole Air Jordan narrative.
Right.
Because initially, the Nike Metcon wasn't allowed to be used for competition in the CrossFit Games.
The main event of...
During that time, the guy that they were sponsoring was none other than Matt Fraser, who went on to become
the fittest man alive.
Alright, the goat of CrossFit. Now, I know some of you Froning fans will debate that, but you know, he has the most individual wins. Okay, so let's go there. So now they made the Metcon line, they rehashed that Jordan narrative that they're banned. So they came out with a colorway that was like the same colorway, the banned Jordan colorway, black and red. And they were actually saying, don't ban our shoe, but beat our shoe. There was an old campaign. And then eventually, here we are now, 9 generations later, with the Metcon 9 coming for this upcoming season of the CrossFit Games. With three
separate lines.
Three separate lines.
Another one is, we reviewed that shoe before, it's actually the Metcon Turbo. Yours is called
the first one is called the Zoom Metcon.
And then I got the Nike's Turbo 1.
Yeah.
So I think for me that's the more premium type of...
Yeah, it's positioned as that because it's a little
price range.
It's a little bit more expensive. You know, they're all above 100 in that 129 US middle ground, and then you have the Turbo, which is priced a little more than that, and then you have these free Metcons, which is a little less than that.
And then this line, they have their own. I mean, the free technology has been with Nike for a long time.
Yeah, basically you have this segmented outsole, which is supposed to make you like run free
or move with your foot, right?
Yeah.
And then along with its Metcon pedigree being good support for lifting, jumping, cutting. So I guess that's what this line is for.
Let me talk about what's new with this shoe.
Right.
Because the thing is, they kind of like, I don't know, they surprised us in a way. They were coming out with new colorways of the Nike Free Metcon 4.
Yeah.
And then the Nike Free Metcon 4 was like way overdue for
Because it was
refresh.
so good, as you
It
said,
was so
right?
good. Like, I bought it twice. About 2 different colorways. Like, I'd already like gone to the end of the life cycle of my first pair, and then I had to buy a second one.
Yeah.
Because I had to use it for a competition recently. So I got the Free Metcon 4 amp, and then all of a sudden, not even like 2 months later, they just suddenly, you know, underneath the shadows,
yes.
like, surprise, we have the Free Metcon 5s.
Honestly, face value, I thought, I mean, not what changed. Face value, it looks the same. And honestly, if they didn't come out with this one, he was telling me about the Nike Metcon 4 so much that how good it is. And he was like telling me, just wait for the 5. And usually, I'm not that kind of guy. I was like, okay, if it's already great, why shouldn't I buy the 4 already?
The thing is, I was actually also doubtful that there would be a 5. Because the Free Metcon 4 had been out for like maybe almost 2 years. You know, generally Nike has a habit of releasing a new iteration every year. That's what they do with the main Metcon line. So every year there's a Metcon 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the same thing they did with the Turbo.
Yeah, yearly.
But with this one, they kept that 4 for like 2 years. So I was like, what's going on? Are they not gonna come out with
this is the end of the line for
or are they just gonna keep selling it because it's so good?
Yeah.
Because they were making new colorways of it. Alright, so let's talk about what's new.
Okay.
Yeah. First of all, this reinforcement here, you see this like plasticky reinforcement at the back. Now with the Free Metcon 4, it was an almost perfect shoe. Almost perfect for me. Now the thing is, it was a little too soft out back here. So it's not the best thing to keep your heel stable, especially if you're doing like heavy Olympic lifts.
Right.
If you're doing your overhead squats, your snatches, things like that. The 4 was definitely not the best shoe, the previous generation. But with this one, I'm hopeful that this is gonna help a lot. And then everything here, so the shiny parts that are on top of the mesh and sock-like upper, I'm simply blown away. I thought that it would just be a difference in texture and that maybe this was added reinforcement for things like rope climbs. And maybe it is. And maybe it is. But also, see here, the inside, this is definitely for the rope climbs, this part here.
Right.
But having it outside as well, I feel like this is supposed to keep your feet a little bit more in place. And you can feel the difference in the texture and in the stability, especially with this here where the stitching comes, where it kind of divides. This is like, it's like a mid-foot, like, I don't know, it's like a strap to clamp down on your feet. Like the previous generation did not have this. And everything else has stayed the same. You still have that X design with the outsole, which divides the shoe into 4 quadrants. We've discussed that. I mean, they've improved the mesh, but you know, it's still the same sock-like upper.
Yeah.
But really, the magic here, or where they've made a bunch of improvements, I think is in making it more rigid, making it more stable with this plastic heel up right above the heel, right? Like this clip here, and then this reinforced I don't know, it's really hard. It's like a lot harder than with the old one. The old one was literally like a sock. It was literally like a sock, but I loved it. I loved it.
Speaking of which, that's actually one of the things I'm most excited about. Saying as this is Tito Fit, so we do like that comfort factor when we buy gear for our workouts. It's not like we go hard all the time, but we do like that.
I don't know about you, I go hard.
We like that comfort. What I'm saying is we like that comfort. So the fact that they kept that sock-like upper, basically the upper is one piece. If you have those longer training days, more than like 2 hours, 3 hours, I mean, when I wear my Metcon 8s, after 2 hours, my feet are like hurting, and it kind of affects me mentally, especially when it comes to lifting, or like it takes me longer to get my mind going for the Metcon.
Yeah, I agree. The 8s were just like, for me, it hurt the arches on my feet. Like if I had to wear them for any longer than the actual workout, I'd complain. So they were not the type of shoe where you would go from workout to like I don't know, hang out at the cafe with your friends, or have a few beers, or with your buddies at night right after your workout, or I don't know, like have dinner. They weren't the perfect shoe. They're very uncomfortable. You know, being our age, I'm 40. if you must know, being 40, I usually like bring a pair of sandals with me, or Crocs or whatever, and I just, after working out, I wear those. But with the free Metcons, whenever I wear them, and you know, the occasion doesn't call for, like, it would be inappropriate to wear sandals, the free Metcon 4s are perfect. You know, they can go from the gym to the bar, or from the gym to the restaurant.
Like that old adage saying, fitness is a lifestyle. You can definitely incorporate this shoe within that. So yeah, that's our first impression of the shoe. I will use this exclusively for 2 weeks. And what do you think I should look out for, seeing as I had the old one?
If you have good mobility, if you have Asian mobility, sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to be, I'm not pulling out the race card, but you know, Asian squat mobility and that kind of thing, you'll love this shoe. Now, maybe if you're lifting heavy and your mobility is not the best, maybe you should get like the main Metcon, main Metcon line, like the 8 or even the Flyes. That would work. Like if you're doing like a heavy clean and jerk or a snatch in a Metcon, work out like Grace, like 30 clean and jerks for time with a 135-pound barbell. I mean, you'll survive with these. I've used these, the free Metcon 4s, for workout like Grace, and it's fine. Even Isabel. But if you're gonna go above those weights, like maybe you're gonna be doing like a ladder of a snatch, or like you're working on your technique for snatches, and you're really going like 70-80%, assuming that if you're a male, maybe you're snatching more than 155 pounds, 185 pounds, going up to that 200-pound territory, maybe this isn't the best shoe for that. The Metcon 8 might be a better choice. But for something like Grace, something like Isabel, this is okay. I'd even go as far as saying this might be one of the better choices for Murph, which is coming up. For Murph, where you do a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 air squats, and then go out again for a 1 mile run. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't run a 5K or a 10K in these, but for running workouts, they're perfect.
Definitely.
Box jumps, double unders, those kinds of things. I'm not so sure about rope climbs. I'm not so sure.
For you guys, I'll try
I'm not so sure.
Use this pristine white.
Maybe with that reinforcement, I think they're trying to work on that. But honestly, I'm not so confident about this.
It'll get chewed up. Yeah.
Maybe if you do a high volume of rope climbs. Maybe. But if you're gonna do like 2 rope climbs for 5 rounds, you should be fine. Okay, let me quickly point out, this isn't a redesign by any means. So they've had this since the free Metcon 3s. So the free Metcon 1 and 2 were practically the same shoe. They switched up where the swoosh was. And then the 3, 4, and 5, it's basically the same shoe. But this has a lot of significant improvements, or notable improvements, in the upper.
So it's the classic, don't mess with a good thing, just try to make it better.
If it ain't broke, right? So you can get this right now. I think here in the Philippines it was 6,895. Am I right? 6,895 pesos. I'm not sure how much that would be in the US. Maybe $120. So they're out now. So check them out. Yeah. And if you've gotten this far,
subscribe, follow us on Instagram.
Sorry we haven't been posting a lot of videos. A lot's been happening, but we will be posting a lot more videos from now on. I mean, it's all planned out. It's all planned out. So I'm Jeridan,
Austin,
and you're watching Tito Fit. So, open it. Yeah, you do the honors. It's your shoe. You know?
That's my shoe.
It's your shoe. I shouldn't be the one.
Okay, so unboxing the Nike Metcon Free 5.